Okay, so now on to distributions. This section is fairly easy. We're going to come down here where it says excess distributions. Copy as a picture, as shown and printed. And then we're going to click, we're going to delete that original picture, post our new picture. Okay. All right, we got it. So what were excess distributions used for? Remember in our conversation, they don't discuss it. So we'll just say, what were excess distributions used for? Excess distributions are discretionary and can be reinvested when needed. In real life, the one that I based this on, remember I based all these loans on real projects that I worked on. And in real life, the borrower distributed cash. So remember, this is excess of net income, excess 37% of net income. They distributed 515K in 2024 so they could buy a Porsche. So they bought a Porsche with this. And we went and we toured the new facility, and the banker was like, "Hey, is that a new Porsche?" And then the borrower was like, "Oh yeah, that's a new Porsche." And he was so excited to tell us about it. Now, if you change this right to 25%, then guess what changes? Distributions in excess of 25%. And then this changes down here. All these numbers change really, but I want you to take notice of that. So if you guys aren't doing 37%, then see if you can do it. Now, right. When excess distributions are excluded from free cash flow, the borrower. Remember, we're going to write the same statement that we wrote up here. So when excessive distributions, or let's not say that, when distributions in excess of 37% are excluded from free cash flow, the borrower not free cash flow, I didn't mean to say that, y'all. When distributions more than 37% are excluded from debt service coverage ratio, the borrower can cover the debt. And remember, my customer, they can't pay the debt in any period, so I'm going to say they can cover the debt in no periods. But let's say they can cover the debt still, like they can still cover the debt in you guys' situations. Then you would say they can cover the debt in, remember what we did last time, fiscal year in 2024 and year to date 2025. 2 periods. Right? 2 periods. Okay? But mine, they can't cover it. They can cover the debt in no periods. So mine, they can't cover the debt at all, which is not a good thing, right? For you guys, I want you to remove the sensitivity analysis right here where it says sensitivity and then it goes down to EBITDA margin sensitivity. I want y'all to just remove that. So the next page should just be the working capital stress test. And the reason why I want y'all to remove that is because that includes some stuff that we're not going to get a chance to go over in class this semester. So it's kind of useless. Next semester, I will go over it with those students. But for now, it should just be distributions and then it should just end here. Okay? So with that, this is how your capacity section should look. And now for what we opened policy for, policy guidelines. So we have our policy guidelines here. And we're going to scroll down. Debt service coverage ratio, inadequate debt service coverage ratio. So inadequate debt service coverage ratio refers to the borrowers to a borrower whose debt service coverage ratio is below 1.10x. So it's a multiple of less than 1.10x in any period reported. Okay? As we can see, my customer reports a debt service coverage ratio of less than 1.10x in all of the periods. Remember, these are just projected periods. These are projections. So I don't want y'all to put too much mind toward the projections. Don't even look at those really, unless you want to see what it looks like your customer can do in the future. But the projections, that's more so just so we can get an idea of what the company can do in the future. Okay? And same here. This is what we assume the company can do in the future. This is what they can do. This is what the company is capable of doing. It doesn't mean that this is what the company is actually doing. Okay? That's what the projections are. Projections are based on 5% increase in sales. So anyways, inadequate debt service coverage ratio. And I need to add another one. Yeah, I'm going to add another one eventually. Not this semester, but next semester. Oh, yeah, and then excessive distributions. So, our distributions, we see where they're at. Excessive distributions refers to distributions in excess of the amount required to maintain debt service coverage ratio of 1.10x, right? And we're not worried about mitigations yet. We're just here to cite policy. So as we can see, when we look at our distributions section, and we see the excessive distributions, it refers to the excess amount required to maintain a debt service of 1.10x. So remember, if this is below 1.10x right here, then that means that they can't afford to repay us, and we're going to cite that as a policy exception, or as a risk as well. So let's come back up to our risk section. And remember, we're not mitigating anything yet, okay? We're just citing risks. So we're going to copy. And as y'all can see, this company I'm dealing with is becoming very, very risky. Risk 5, risk 6. Okay, so we're going to say, inadequate debt service coverage ratio. And by now, you guys should know how to locate the risks. In the policy guidelines, there's a section titled Section 0 Credit Risk. And that's where you'll find the risks. So this one, we're going to say inadequate debt service coverage ratio. Inadequate debt service coverage ratio. The borrower's leverage. The borrower's debt service coverage ratio as of year to date 2025. Oh. No. Is not greater than 1.10x in any period reported. Now, for you guys, some of you guys might have a statement that says is not greater than 1.10x in fiscal year in 2023 because it's only 2023, or in 2023 and 2024, right? Because you'll have inadequate 2023 and 2024, but year to date is fine. So remember, just cite what periods it's not adequate. Remember, for me, it's not adequate in any period. So I'm going to say it's not adequate in any period. Now, inadequate debt service coverage ratio. I have it right here. It's inadequate. Now, remember, for excessive distributions, we're going to write something different. Excessive distributions. The borrower's debt service coverage ratio let's say when excluding distributions, the borrower's debt service coverage ratio is less than 1.10x. Oh, you know what? I'm just realizing that's the greater than sign. That's my bad, y'all. Less than sign. Do not do the wrong sign. Ah, man, I pray I didn't mess y'all up with that. Please make sure that your signs are right. I messed up on that one. So it's less than, right? I'm gonna do that. Okay, excessive distributions. When excluding distributions, the borrower's debt service coverage ratio is less than 1.10x. Now, for some of you guys, they had inadequate debt service coverage ratio already before we had the excessive distributions. Now, if your company is like mine and their debt service coverage ratio is low, but their excessive distributions are still $500,000 or $173,000, then yes, I want you to cite it. But if their distributions are like 100K and less, then don't cite this one. Don't cite this as the risk, because remember, it's not something that really matters too much, just because they're not taking out a ton of money and their company didn't cash flow already. Like, they already couldn't cover it. So them taking out distributions isn't the reason they can't cover it. But my company, they're taking out $500,000, so I'm citing this. I'm citing this. This is getting cited because they're taking out way too much money. So that's that for that, and that's what you're gonna do. So we've gotten this, we got not, right? We're gonna type in mitigation because we're gonna have to mitigate that later on. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 risks here, right? Now let's pray that's the only. Let's pray there's no more risks. And now let's see if there's anything else that we need to cite so far. Okay. Is equity decreasing year over year? We would have already gotten that. Okay, income statement. Okay, that's collateral policy. We haven't gotten to collateral yet. Covenants. Okay, and we haven't done covenants. Okay, this is all we have to cite for now. All right, and that's all I have to say for today. I'll see y'all on the next one.